And we should be live. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. I am Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman J.T, bringer of love, light, truth, predictions, and prophecy. And I am here with you today on Monday, August 9th, 2021. And this is my top 20 world predictions for August 2021 and beyond. But first, be sure to check out all my links down below. Down below, you'll find links to my Awaken Your Spirit community on Subscribestar. I love all my supporters. Thank you for your support, sending your donations through PayPal and through Chat Cash. I very much appreciate it. You'll find all my social media down below, but also be sure to subscribe down below. Hit the bell followed by the all to ensure that you get notifications for live events like this and uploads and so forth. So today I'm going to be talking about my top 20 predictions for August. But first, foremost, a lot of what I said, especially in my last video I did in early July on the weather, a lot of that is happening right now as we speak. One of the interesting ones was the vision I had of the two volcanoes side by side and one in the background, which is happening, erupting right now in Alaska, or was earlier. I'm sure it still is. Lots of things have been happening. So it's all the more reason to be sure to subscribe down below and check out all the links down below and become a supporter on the Subscribestar Awaken Your Spirit community. So let's talk about what we're going to be doing today and the top 20 predictions that I have to present for you today, which is all copyrighted information, by the way. So let's go to number 20. We'll start at the top and work our way down. Number 20. As soon as I bring it up here. Voila. And I actually have more than 20. And I will be doing a weather prediction video within the next day or two. Or I mean, by this next Monday, actually, I'll do a weather video with the top weather predictions. Means that many of them in the last video are already happening right now. There's a few weather predictions in this top 20 that I'm doing for you today. So let's start with 20. So this one was interesting. I found this interesting, and I got a little video clip to give you an idea of the fascination with this number 20 prediction. But the way I saw this vision was much different than this video, for starters. And it was just kind of much interesting. So what I saw was a big ship, and it was a big ship, not quite like this ship, and it looked more gray. It literally reminded me of a military Navy ship for the United States. And I saw it rushing into the, like literally straight towards a pier, perhaps a shipping type of facility of some sort. I saw steel, literally, just like you see in this video, steel just started crashing down, and I heard the steel falling. But here's the thing with this particular one, and I don't know where this was or when this happened. I found a clip, it's close to my vision, but I saw the boat that I saw going straight forward. And the thing with this particular prediction is that I got that China was responsible for this, and that this was, you know, you can call it false flag or whatever you want to call it. And it's them taking out a port over shipment good arguments with whatever country. That's the first thought that came to my mind when I got that particular prediction. So let's move down to number 19. Number 19 is also an interesting prediction because, you know, this happened. And I remember predicting this years ago when it first started to happen with the algae, actually. But what I saw in this particular vision was much different than just algae. This literally looked like blood pouring from the edge of a continent into the waters and flowing right through the jet stream in the middle of the oceans, coming down like a river. And you could see this jet stream of red. And in my prediction, I see sea turning red, blood red, as it begins to flow through the ocean jet stream. It doesn't feel toxic to me, but it feels more like blood, like human blood. And I don't know, again, there's probably symbolism behind this. because a lot of prophecies, especially prophecies, but even visions that I have sometimes have to be interpreted. But again, it didn't feel toxic where that red algae and that happening like in Florida recently, or Texas or both. That's toxic. This seemed like blood. And it looked to me like it was appearing to come off the continent of Asia. So up towards like right below the tip of Japan and a little bit up, like I guess that'd be where the Philippines are. A little geographically challenged in my brain right now. So let me take you on to number 18. Number 18 is interesting. This came to me actually about a week or two ago, probably over a week ago, this particular prediction. And it came to me almost like you would read a prophecy, like basically like a Bible prophecy. And that is, oh, did I skip 18? Yeah, I skipped one, but wrong one. My bad. Totally wrong one. So number 17, number 18, I see people standing in long lines. And this was kind of slightly on the frightening side. And when I saw this vision, it seemed more like I was looking at the Great Depression. Going back to the Great Depression is literally exactly how it felt to me. And I see people disheveled, standing in long lines, just like going back to the Great Depression as you see it here. And I saw people waiting in line specifically for food and specifically for water. When I had that vision, first the Great Depression in the United States came to my mind, going back to that time period. But this is the current time. This is people in line right here for food during the whole, global pandemic house arrest at the, food places that they give out food. But I had a vision of this, and these people were disheveled, and then Germany kept popping in my mind. And I felt like I was on the streets of Germany. I feel like I went back in time, but I feel like I was still in the streets of Germany. So that takes me to number 17. Number 17 is interesting as well, because number 17 has to do with, again, people rushing and people in desperation. And I want to make a point here that predictions, not all predictions or prophecies are always positive, but they give us an ability to know what's ahead, how to prepare, and to how to keep ourselves and our families and those that we love safe. So number 17, I see people rushing to ATM machines and banks to withdraw money. What are they withdrawing money for? Why are they withdrawing money? I saw people gathered outside of banks protesting. This was definitely something that began overseas. And I saw it as a small, like happening in a small sector, like a small place, like a small country or city or something, as a warning as to what's ahead. So when this story breaks, when this happens, again, this should be a warning to us that this is something that's going to happen. So, having cash on store is good to have, but there's other things to have that are more important too, like stocking up on food and everything that I've been telling you all about for quite some time. Taking me to number 16. Number 16, this is the one that I brought up the angel of death for. That was more like a prophecy in my brain, like something that and weeks ago that I just took note of it. And when I was putting this top 20 together for y'all, I came across this particular prediction, which is God shall send an angel of death to inflict the new virus, affecting children more than the adults, a disease created by the devil himself, different than COVID, rashes, breakouts, bumps. Again, God shall send an angel of death to inflict a new virus affecting children mostly, a disease created by the devil himself, different from COVID. It causes rashes, breakouts, and bumps. And as I read this and as I give you this information, it pops into my mind. I think of, for some reason, Africa and the continent of Africa, especially breaking out in places like where maybe malaria would break out. And so that all pops in my mind now as I give you that particular prediction, which takes me to number 15 prediction. Number 15 predictions more related to weather, and I'll give you more about this when I get to my weather predictions. But number 15, floods continue to cause lands to wash away in Europe, especially Australia, New Zealand. This shall include more floods and more landslides in both southern and northern California, Washington state, Oregon, and even the Dakotas, North Dakota especially. Again, massive floods. That's the part of the United States. But again, these floods continue to cause lands to wash away in Europe, islands going underwater. We're going to see lots of this happening, which when I do my weather video, I'll touch base on those 3 volcanoes and the prediction I made about the heat up of and the great amount of ice that melts in the Arctic, which I think is related to those 3 volcanoes that are erupting as we speak. So this takes me to number 14. Number 14, yeah, number 14. False flag shootings and bizarre behavior that you'll see in news stories that have to do with vaccination centers and hospitals and medical care facilities. And again, some of this will be real life events that feed off of that energy that darkness creates. But they have a plan around this. And I think this will enter more towards the holiday season, December into the new year. But that's number 14. Number 13, a city is devastated by wildfire in Europe. Islands randomly begin to burn, floods, rocks, mudslides, rock slides. So, and that's how it all came to me in that exact thing. A city devastated by. I was talking to my people on Star in Zoom right now, and I just learned that there apparently is fires all over the planet, which was again in my predictions earlier in the year. That's why that'll take me to one of my predictions coming up. Number 12 is get ready for summertime blackouts, which I've talked about, but some are going to be naturally caused by storms and others are going to be purposely shut off as false flag excuses, especially mid to late August of this month. This is going to affect the Midwest of the United States, as far north as Maine, and borders in Canada, especially if they share grids. And I don't know nothing about this. This is what I got. Especially if they share grids, any grids that we share with Canada or something, they're going to be affected and shut down. So if you're on those borders and share one of those grids, be aware of that. And again, starting mid-August to late August, some of this is going to be weather-related events, which means there's going to be big weather-related event, like say a tornado that takes out a grid, takes out something big. This is why you have to prepare and have candles and things that you need. Number 11. I thought about this today after I put this all together. Number 11 and the whole number 11 with the Illuminati and all of them is about the United Nations and the UN, and the UN vehicles is about to take over many lands, including Australia and Africa, parts of Africa. United Nations military warfare begins to be cited in places like the United Kingdom. And remember, some of you may remember back in 2016-17 during the Obama administration when all these UN vehicles were spotted being shipped, on the highways and the railroadways in the United States. And then it was all over. Nobody ever knows what happened to them or where they ended up going. I think the government did some kind of cover-up story that they were building them or something and shipping them out, but it reminded me of that story. But again, the UK, the United States, European countries like Germany, Hungary, and Turkey, this includes activating NATO forces and other levels of fear. So this is coming again, folks. UN is about to take over many lands. They're coming in like with NATO forces and so forth and really taking over. People around the areas of Australia, again, many parts of Africa, to start off with. And again, the United Kingdom, United States, and European countries like Germany, Hungary, and Turkey. Number 10, water. And water is life, folks. As you know, we can't do anything without water. Water is life. And if you all remember back when there was a big fight with DAPL, as they call it, DAPL, DPBL or whatever, the pipeline that ran through in the Dakotas through native land, and how they fought over that land. Actually, it's my top #1 video on this channel. If you look, I did a documentary on it back when this happened. And that's where we got this water is life. Water is life. Without it, there's nothing. Well, I had flashbacks to what happened with the fight with the natives against the pipeline and so forth, and what happened with that. And all that came back into mind with this prediction with number 10. And I see people surrounding areas of water and water resources, and I see them as protectors. And we have them. We have the water protectors and people that join together. And there is even a nonprofit with the water protectors. But I see this becoming a highlight story again. And I see a fight for water, and I see a fight happening in neighborhoods in areas like California where people are protesting outside where they hold the water wells and such. So number 9, and number 9 is kind of creepy, of course, which takes me back to the whole what I just said about the whole United Nations and their vehicles doing their little vehicle takeover. And this is really nothing to mess around with. And again, going back to 2016, people were talking about this. They were talking about it, but nobody really, nothing ever came to it. People were yelling that this was going to happen. But these are the UN vehicles coming in. And my number 9 prediction is martial law is going to be implemented in 3 countries. 3 countries, all 3 hit in the night by a storm of the century. People taken away in buses, military trucks, people separated. Mostly men and boys are taken away in what feels to me to be taken away for good, taken away to like slaughterhouses. It gave me a whole like flash of thinking of Germany and World War II and everything that happened there. I don't know where this is happening. I don't feel like this is United States yet. But again, martial law will be implemented in 3 countries. And I would think that that's coming soon. I try to do my predictions monthly, but it's coming and it's going to hit like a storm of the century in the middle of the night. Number 8, a fight for the cure for cancer being leaked out, actually. And this has happened before. And when somebody comes up with the cure of cancer, what happens to them? Oh, they mysteriously die in an accident or commit suicide. Well, this is a fight for the cure of cancer being leaked out, covered up, and then uncovered. Target of false conspiracy theories will be thrown out there when indeed it is actually a real story. So when you hear a story about, the cancer cure being covered up and leaked out and then covered and uncovered, and then they yell conspiracy theory bullcrap, you'll know that it's actually real. And many die to bring this cure to the forefront. So I'm going to take it that many die to bring this cure to the forefront means it's coming to the forefront. It's coming. So that's a good one. That's a positive prediction, which is, again, negative but positive. You can't hide the truth anymore. Number 7, a huge wave in South Africa, 2 tsunamis, maybe 3. And I said this in my past predictions. I had visions of this. And then I did a video last year with my apprentice graduates of my master class. And we did shamanic journey around the current world and the planet. And we had all our stuff came together. Check out the video. It's pretty wild. And I remember that pops into my mind that we had visions about stuff like that with South Africa. Now I feel like that's coming, and it's coming very soon. But again, a huge wave in South Africa. And I just said, that's all I got. I didn't see the vision. I just heard a huge wave in South Africa. And then I heard 2 tsunamis, maybe 3. So I don't know where the maybe comes in. Number 6, Russia, Ukraine build fire, bringing 3 other countries into their inferno. Again, Russia and the Ukraine build fire, bringing 3 other countries into that inferno. And I feel like it's in the process and it's happening already. Number 5, Turkish wars, first 2, but 3 in all. This may be connected to my prediction on martial law and people being separated and that whole thing. Again, Turkish wars, that's how I received the information. First 2, but 3 in all. This may be connected to my prediction on the martial law that I talked about earlier, with the people being separated. Number 4, a huge shaking, and again, this goes back to one of my past predictions, is coming to California. LA, the valley, and the hills bring fire to the skies. And again, that's exactly how I received it and channeled the information through. A huge shaking is coming to California. LA, the valley, and the hills bring fire to the skies. I don't know what that means. You would think earthquake, yeah, and and something would explode, causing fires in the skies. And I'm not familiar with the geographic makeup of California, but LA, the Valley, and the hills, I guess, is all connected to the same area. Maybe somebody can comment down below on that. Number 3, airports are closed down due to fires, question mark, smoke, question, COVID, question. I was asking these questions when I got this information and I typed it in, but I didn't get an answer. Airports having large influx of military presence. This was a vision. Military planes. I was seeing normal airports and I saw military planes and like a military presence taking over regular airports, their vehicles. And then I saw airports with military guarding the perimeter, like walking around with like machine guns, like you see in some third world countries. But it wasn't a third world country. It seemed to me that they were it almost was like, is it a military takeover or a terror attack that happened? That they're protecting these airports. Part of my vision seemed very familiar to me. It seemed to be like United States and an airport that seemed, again, if it's familiar to me, maybe New York City, LaGuardia or one of those. Number 2, Egypt. And I will read just exactly how I channeled it through. Oh, how we cry for the Egyptian people in the land, hit so hard by so many missiles. And I didn't see missiles, so I don't know, again, if there's interpretation here. Hit so hard by so many missiles when least expected. Mother Nature takes wrath on the lands. Great sandstorms, great floods, and a washing away of the old. But they will rise like a phoenix from the ashes after despair and sadness. Again, Egypt, oh, how we cry for the Egyptian people in the land, hit so hard by so many missiles when least expected. Mother Nature takes wrath on the lands, great sandstorms, great floods, and a washing away the old. But they will rise like a phoenix from the ashes after their despair and sadness. So washing away the old makes me think that part of the ancient pyramids are part of that history is going to be washed away, especially along the Nile. That's what makes me think of washing away the old. But it also made me think, again, metaphorically and prophecy of like the washing away of the old, meaning their old government, leadership, and the washing away of the control. That was my first actual thought. I also saw people crossing borders and more borders. And this was throughout the whole continent of Africa, all over Africa, but especially crossing through Egypt. And it looked like they were coming in and coming out. And I just kept seeing all these crossing and all these people like crossing borders. And then I got crossing into Egypt towards the new promised land. The new promised land and is a promise that was never kept. So we'll have to see what that is. If they promise the people and they're crossing the border into Egypt to this promised land, we need to know, again, that is not a promise that's going to be kept. And number 1, major issues break out in Hong Kong. War ignite attempt fails. Again, major issues break out throughout Hong Kong. And war, someone attempting to ignite war, but that attempt fails. So that's good too. And then I got a couple bonuses here, a couple things that I got today after I already had all this prepared. I had a vision and just heard a voice: president shot, president down. And then I saw a headline: president in critical condition. I don't know what president, I don't know where this is, but the headline looked like English to me. And then I also, last thing I saw today was U.S. jobs are about to drop to an all-time low, especially in 2022. All the more reason to get that money out of the bank, folks. I have, again, more predictions, stuff I can't cover today, and there's a lot more to come. So be sure to subscribe down below. Be sure to check out all my links down below. Thank you, anybody that let me go actually into the YouTube chat room. Thank you, everybody that may have put through any chat cash. I appreciate that, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you for subscribing. I will be back again soon with more information, more predictions, and weather predictions next Monday, so keep an eye out for that. But until the next time, remember, celebrate life, celebrate you, celebrate the amazing you that you are, celebrate the blessings and miracles and flow of abundance, joy, and happiness that flow into your life. The more you do, the more you'll receive. The more you bitch and complain, the more the universe gives us to bitch and complain about. Over and out, people. You have a beautiful, wonderful evening. Much love.